At the time when the attacks occurred, it was, let's just say, I was positively naive and it was very vague. So I was this 4-year-old boy. I was just waiting for my father to somehow come back.
September 11 is a tragic day for our life.
Tu Nguyen and her son An have spent the past 20 years building a life without his father, her husband. Can Nguyen was a 41-year-old defense contractor sitting in his office at the Pentagon the morning of September 11, 2001, killed in an instant when terrorists hijacked American Airlines Flight 77 and crashed it into the building.
In my mind, I still hope that he may get stuck somewhere in the Pentagon, and in the morning, the rescue team will help him to get him out. That's my hope.
It's heartbreaking, and there's a lot of agony that came from trying to understand that and trying to figure out what is going to be my life without my father.
An Nguyen had just turned 4 years old when his father was killed.
It was a multi-year process of trying to put the pieces together to understand what happened.
He remembers that fateful morning, his father calling out to him for an extra wave goodbye from the bus leaving their house to his preschool.
He never did that before. That's what I recall. And that was a poignant moment in retrospect that this would be the final goodbye. It's really bizarre.
The bus keep moving and try to look through the window and wave to his daddy one more time. And after that, he came back to his car, and I already in front of my car, and he say, "Honey, it's getting cold. Don't forget to give Anne a light jacket every morning." So that is the last time I can hear his voice.
Tu and her husband were both child refugees from Vietnam, moving to the U.S. with their families in the 1980s.
We already suffer on the cruelty with the communist regime. So we appreciate the freedom here, the opportunities here. So we never take things for granted.
They got married on the 4th of July in 1993. 4 years later, Anne was born. 4 years after that came 9/11.
He keeps saying he wish when he grow up, he become an astronaut to go to the space to find his father.
Anne turned 24 on Thursday. He's a software engineer, a 2019 graduate of George Mason University, about to earn a master's degree. Says he does have vivid memories of the days following the death of his father, like when his dad's car was towed back to their home from the Pentagon parking lot.
I went outside, I went to the car, I went jumping up and down to see if he's in the car physically, and I would peek through it. And I just had this sense of hope that maybe he's still out there. It wasn't until the funeral, like about almost a month later, in October of 2001, that the casket, his coffin, when it wasn't pushed into the chamber for cremation, that's when I know that he's not going to come back.
How did you explain it to him? Was it hard to explain to a 4-year-old boy?
Oh, it's really hard. Every evening, he just put the small step, he step on, and he turned the curtain. He stayed there for a long time, just to wait for his father coming back home. So later, we have to tell him that his father went up to heaven. He could not talk to Anne, but Anne can talk to him. He listened. He will love you and protect you forever.